Hi, I'm your host, John Pope, and this is episode number 2 of 100% Podcast. In the first episode, I talk a lot about setting goals, and so I'd like to jump right into how I do that. I think, first of all, a lot of us have a tendency to compartmentalize our lives. So when you look at our lives, we've got business and financial, we've got family and relationships, we've got spiritual, we've got our hobbies, and we've got our health and wellness. I think a lot of us have a tendency to focus on certain areas of our lives and neglect the others. And I've done that in the past as well. For example, when I first got into business, I was very focused on business. And so I let some of these other aspects of my life lag, specifically my health and wellness. And so because I wasn't exercising, after a couple years, I became more unhealthy. I had less energy, I had less confidence, and I had more stress because I had no means to get that stress out by exercising, which is the way I do that. And it eventually ended up dragging down the business piece that I was so focused on. And so what I realized is that in order to really design and have the life that you want, you've got to focus on excelling in all areas of your life. At least I do from my own personal experience, and that's what I want. And so I think when we look at those different spheres of life, be it spiritual, business, family relationships, hobbies, and health and wellness, we need to take an honest look at where we are today. And so I'd encourage you to sit down with a pen and paper, write out those categories, and just take a self-inventory of where you are today in each of those categories. Be honest with yourself. Don't sugarcoat it. And then after you've written it down, don't beat yourself up. You might be weak in some areas. Most of us are. You're definitely going to be stronger in other areas. And so once you've taken that honest self-assessment of where you are, you need to start thinking about where you want to be in these different areas of your life. And so then comes a time to really start setting your goals. The first thing that I do, and I encourage you to do before you set your goals, is to think about your why. Your why is your motivation behind why you want to achieve those goals. And that's really the fuel to the fire that's going to provide the motivation and the inspiration for you to go out and do what you want to do in life. And so for me, for example, I've got multiple whys. One is my family. And so I want to make sure that every goal that I have is benefiting my family. So if you look at health and wellness, for example, I want to be able to have great energy to play with my kids, to be an active part of their lives. Financial, I want to be able to take care of my family. I want to be able to give back to the community and to show them how to do that, so hopefully they can give back when they grow up. Giving back is really another huge reason. If your goals are all about yourself, I personally don't think you have as much fuel to the fire as if you want to help other people as well. And so I think you've got to have a true desire to help other people, and you look at how your goals can do that, right? If you help yourself first, you can help more people. And so I think it's important to know your why before you set out to set your goals. So once you've come up with your why, it's time to start setting some specific goals. And so the first thing I encourage you to do is get out that pen and paper and take 5 minutes to write down all your dreams, all the goals you want to accomplish, and don't censor yourself during this process. Once you've done that, go through that list and pick 5 to 10 that resonate with you the most, and make sure they line up with your why and your core values. You've got to have that compelling reason to do these things. And so you've written them down once. That's not enough. Most people write down their goals once at the beginning of the year and they forget about them until the end of the year, and then they come up with excuses as to why they didn't achieve those goals. A huge differentiator that I found is to write down your goals every day, preferably twice a day. Write down your goals in the morning, write down your goals at night. Furthermore, keep a list of your written out goals taped up somewhere prominent where you can see it. Your bathroom mirror is a great place. You should be brushing your teeth every morning, I hope, and you should see them then. Take the time to read them, and even read them out loud, because some people are auditory. If you're a visual person, create a vision board. Cut out things that you want to accomplish. Put it in a prominent place in your home or your office to where you can look at them, and those pictures will remind you of what you want to accomplish. And so if you're writing down your goals every day, if you're reading them every day, if you're looking at them every day throughout the year, you're going to be so much more likely to accomplish them. And I would add one more thing. If your goals are yearly goals, let's say that your goal is to make $100,000 in a year. If you're writing that, if you've just set that goal at the beginning of the year and then you don't look at it to the end, you're unlikely to do so. You're going to get caught up in the habits and the daily grind of life and forget about it. And so what I encourage you to do is set up calendar reminders for yourself at random times throughout the year. So let's say you do that at 6 months. You set a calendar reminder for yourself on your Outlook that comes up. You have to pay attention to, and it says you should have made $50,000 by this point. You have $50,000 more to go. And that's going to remind you of that goal. It's going to keep you accountable and wake you up from whatever trance you might be in at that time and refocus you on your goal. That's a strategy that I learned from a guy named Ed Milet. And so write down your goals every day, every night, look at them if you're visual, read them, and set calendar reminders. If you have any questions, there's a lot more resources on setting goals and achieving goals. Feel free to reach out to me. I'd love to help, and I look forward to speaking with all of you. Thank you very much.